Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine,
Why Not? A queer podcast.
episode 155. All right. Oh,
I was told the other day the name of the podcast is too long.
by who? You give me a name.
I won't say any names. I'll just give you her initials, K. Oh, wait. That's the whole name. No, she just said it's too long of a handle on our socials. But it's like, you have to have the word queer in there, right? Otherwise, how are people going to know? They'll think it's like a soccer mom podcast if it just says Wine, Why Not?
I think we should just put Wine, Why Not, and non-gay listeners be damned. Oops, you stumbled upon a couple of queers drinking wine.
Queers drinking wine.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, we got a name of our new podcast, Queers drinking wine. All right, well, here we are.
Here we
episode
are.
155.
Yes.
I was thinking about this earlier today.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. How many if they're 2 hours long. I know they weren't all 2 hours long, but most of them are.
Yeah.
Let's just say an hour and a half for each one.
Sure. It's 90 minutes times
That's
155.
2,150 hours.
It's a
How
lot
many
of
days is
talking.
that?
That's a lot of talking.
That's not possible.
Mm.
I
What
must
is
have that's minutes. That was minutes. No. They're 90 minutes.
Yeah, you do
Right.
90 minutes times
Times
155,
155.
and
All
then
right,
divide it by
that's
60.
13,950 minutes.
Divide that by
So divided
60.
by 60. 232 hours.
Divide that by
basically.
24. So you're about 8 days, a little over 8 days.
Almost 10.
Oh, all right.
Math is hard. What did I have? I was like, there's no way we've been
You're
doing
like,
this for 900
We've been
days.
talking for 900 years.
I was so good at math. Speaking of math, the 155th episode. Did you come up with anything fun?
Well, the past Jeremy did. I don't remember if you remember in 152 when I said that 152 Riverside Drive was the address that Tom Hanks's character from You've Got Mail. That's where he
Yes.
lived. Okay, so in researching that address, I found out that 3 down, which is pertinent to this one, 155 Riverside Drive, is the home or former home of Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb. When we did after 152, I did walk up there. I did see the building 155 Riverside Drive where Robert Oppenheimer's apartment was at. However, 152, where Tom Hanks's character is from, is not a real address. It is an alleyway. So apparently Fox
movie
Books
lie.
did not do well during COVID and shut down, and he now lives in an alleyway.
Huh. That's so funny. A past Jeremy told like past
Mhm.
Jeremy wrote a note and put it in your pocket and said, "Open this."
He said, only for future Jeremy.
And then like future Jeremy was like, "No, I can't know the future."
Yeah. That's what happened.
That was my Doc Brown impression.
I liked it. It was good. Another one, this one's I thought was kind of interesting. It is not verified by a reliable source. However, someone on the internet wrote it, so it's got to be true.
100%.
But apparently, Al Pacino said the word fuck in the movie Scarface 155 times.
Huh.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
I
Do you
did
think
not
we
want to
can
go
beat-
back and
Do you think
watch
we can
it.
beat that?
No. I mean, we could, but we shouldn't. I didn't want to go back and count, so I was just like, you know what, Mr. Internet guy, I believe you.
I think my mom may have done that once, yelling at my brother.
Beat Al Pacino's score.
Beat Al Pacino's score. I mean, it's funny because it's funny in a second, not initially funny when I tell you that I was in Houston for my sister's funeral. That's not the funny part. The funny part is that we were watching like videos, like prank call videos of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and so it was like people had a soundboard, and they would call people, and it was like they press a button, and he'd be like, I have a question, I want to answer it immediately," and then they press another button from another movie he did, and it's, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?" And like people would get so irritated, and they kept cussing. And we watched this for hours, and my brother and I were hysterical laughing. I think my mom broke, and she just started yelling, "Fuck, fuck, 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 fuck. I can say it too. Fuck, fuck. Isn't it hilarious? Fuck, fuck, fuck." So we stopped watching the videos. That was one way to ask, right?
Yeah.
One way to ask to stop watching the videos.
She had a lot going on that day.
She did.
She did.
It was a tough week.
Um,
Anything else?
The only other one I have, I'll be honest, and we'll get to it when I talk about my week, but my family was in town, so I did not have a lot of time to research facts, except for the quick 30 seconds as I was coming up the stairs to come here. But for Caitlin, I always look up the Pokemon. So
we need a sound cue for that, like meh, 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 or something else.
Something like "Gotta catch 'em all," something like that.
I'm on the hunt, gotta catch 'em all.
Okay, so Pokemon 155 is I'm gonna butcher this name too. Cyndaquil. Did I say it right? Cyndaquil.
Oh, look
right.
at that.
Cyndaquil is this little duck-looking. There you go. She's got it pulled up on her screen.
It's when you mail a pen to somebody, or say Cyndaquil,
Yeah.
or it looks like from the picture when you eat a bowl of chili and you explode from the back.
It's an exploding duck. Cyndaquil usually stays hunched over, and if it is angry or surprised, it will shoot flames out of its back, which is, I think, what you saw in that picture that Caitlin has at her desk.
I think I know two people that live in my house that might say I'm a Cyndaquil.
You're such an exotic species.
Just gassy.
So those are the only tidbits I got for you.
Oh, I have some exciting ones. I'm surprised you didn't have this.
Hey, you don't listen when I talk, do you? 1 minute ago,
Right,
I
were
just
you
said.
busy?
I
you
said
busy?
those facts came 30 seconds of me walking up the stairs.
Oh, okay. I did totally miss that part. I got the
Yeah.
part where you said that your family was in town and
Yeah.
that you didn't.
I said I did a research 30 seconds while I came up the stairs.
Well, these facts came to me 2 hours ago, so here we
Okay.
go. Now, I don't think these are Chat GPT, so I think they're true. Also, somebody told me like a code to put into the settings on Chat GPT to basically like verbatim say, "Stop lying to me. Do this and this," and now it won't lie to me.
Can't they just make ChatGPT not lie to people? Can't that just be the default?
I think it's I've learned a lot about this lately and a lot of different things, mainly because of this new database that we're working on Watermark. As the lady keeps telling me, you have to be very specific with robots. You can't have a conversation with them. You have to tell them exactly. So this tells it, anytime I ask you a question, I only want hard proven facts from reliable sources, that kind of thing. So anyway, do you know what the 155 millimeter artillery is? It's the NATO standard caliber for modern heavy field artillery. I thought maybe you would know that since that's what you do.
Cool.
That wasn't a cool fact. Interstate 155 is a highway connecting Missouri to Tennessee. Another cool one.
I will say, when I was coming up the stairs and I Googled 155, all of these cool facts came up, and I was like, nobody gives a shit. I moved on. But these are interesting facts. I didn't think you would find these interesting.
I don't think anybody finds any of these interesting. I don't know. But here's one that I did think was interesting. 155 was the number of passengers and crews that Sully saved in the Miracle on the Hudson U.S. Airways
that's
Flight
interesting.
1549.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was
Way to
interesting.
go, Sully. That
Go ahead.
the anniversary of that just recently passed, like within the last couple of weeks of that happening.
Happy anniversary, Sully. So you saved everyone's life, and then they questioned your alcohol.
Did you ever see
of your blood?
Did you ever see the
I didn't
movie?
see the
Tom
movie,
Hanks. The
no.
movie's good.
Is
Good.
it?
Yeah. Tom Hanks does a great job.
I
But Tom Hanks
should.
always does a good job.
I should check that out. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The 155th episode of Friends. Take a guess.
That
There's so much iconic about this particular one. Like everyone's got a thing going on that is memorable.
Is this the one where Tag and no, they got together last episode because that was the Thanksgiving where he was So they're together. So I'm gonna say this is the one where nobody can sleep.
No. But you're on the right course because here are the things that are happening. I won't give the first one away because it'll give the title away. But Ross buys Phoebe a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Teaches her how to ride a bike. Rachel and Tag try to hide their relationship at work.
Yes, and this is where Chandler can't cry.
Oh, is it? They don't say anything about
I think
that
that's the one
in what I read. And Monica makes candy to get to know her neighbors.
Candy lady.
So it's the one with all the candy.
All right. It's their Christmas episode. I like that one.
All right, here we go. 155th. I don't think you're going to get any of these. Well, let's go with 155th greatest film of all time. It is directed by Vittorio De Sica. You know, your favorite. In 1952, your favorite year of movies.
Such a good year.
Stars Carlo Battisti, and it's about an elderly man and his dog struggling to survive on his government pension in Rome. See, if it was in New York and you had a dog, it might be
my life story.
It might be about you. It's called Umberto D.
I Umberto don't know that one.
Yeah, neither do I. All right, here we go. 155 greatest director of all time. He directed such great classics as the 1950s Orpheus and 1946 Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, the original. I love Beauty and the Beast. I hear it's a tale as old as time.
I do. I hear. Yeah. John Cocteau. So yeah. I did find some interesting facts about him, though. This was interesting to me. He was an ambulance driver during the First World War.
Oh.
And he was bisexual and apparently never hid it. Except this, it says this. He never hid his bisexuality, but then he was the author of the mildly homoerotic and semi-autobiographical book, which translates to The White Paper or The White Book. But here it is. It says he never hid his bisexuality, but the book was published anonymously in 1928.
Now, he wasn't embarrassed that he was bisexual. He was embarrassed that he was white.
Or that he was a writer. He had to hide it.
Good for him.
Anyway.
Good for him.
That's 155.
James Whale never hid it either. The guy who directed Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't hide it either. That's why
he especially didn't hide it from Brendan Fraser.
Good movie. We covered that. Go back and check it out. So yeah, 155. By the way, I'm sure you can see if you're watching the video how very fizzy and clear my wine is. Last week when I had to buy the Smirnoff Grape, it was a 6-pack and I didn't want it to go to waste. So I am finishing off the 6-pack today.
It was good enough?
It's not bad.
Or does it not matter?
Excuse the individual behind me. His pho just got delivered. It's fantastic.
I was struggling.
Oh, God bless you.
Oh my goodness. Bless you.
Somebody wanted to make a mask on the podcast.
He loves it when we talk about it. Let's talk about it for a few minutes. Oh, I have to send something to him. I must tell you that It's been sitting on my counter. And yesterday, somebody spilled like a cleaning thing all over it. So we'll see.
It'll smell nice.
It'll be rich.
Like Pine Sol.
So anyway, how was your week? Tell me all about all the interesting things that you did with your family.
My week was very, very busy. Okay, so my family came into town. Before that, because they came into town on Thursday. For those who don't watch the news or don't live anywhere in the United States, or just have been sleeping for the last week, there was a massive snowstorm or winter storm that came through most of the country. And it just so happened to pass through New York City on the weekend that they were visiting, bringing the coldest temperatures we have had in like 10 years. It dumped like 12 inches of snow on us. So
I did hear that ice was dominating the headlines.
It sure was, many in more ways than one. But before they got into town, so I think I told you on the last podcast that I was hired full time permanently.
Yes.
At Uggs, which is great, at Macy's. As of recording this podcast,
You got fired?
I am unemployed. So,
what?
Apparently, when you are seasonal and they bring you on as permanent, you have to, just for formalities, you need to reapply to the job as a permanent employee, and then they have to redo the paperwork, because all my paperwork is done.
What if they don't hire you?
Seasonal. Well, it's because Nikita. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to say names because I don't know if they want to be mentioned. So strike that. Pretend you didn't hear your name. I don't think she listens though, because I haven't told anyone at work that I do a podcast except for one person. So she already said as soon as the job comes across her desk, she goes, "I'm hiring you. You already got the job." But Macy's has to put it in the system. I have to quote unquote apply. And then Nikita, damn it, I did it again. My manager.
By the way, that's a great movie with River Phoenix in it.
What?
Something Nikita.
Nikita? I don't think she'd mind, but she's a wonderful manager, and I love her, or maybe my boss. So, she
backpedaling.
No, honestly, I do. I adore her.
Little Nikita. So
she said as soon as it comes across my desk, you're hired. So Macy's has been kind of dragging their feet. They're like, yeah, we'll get it up online. We'll get up online. So technically, seasonal ended on Saturday. So I was technically unemployed as of Saturday. And then we weren't worried because I had the weekend off because my family was in town. My next work day was Tuesday. Well, here we are on Monday afternoon, and they still haven't put the posting up. So I can't work until the posting is up and I get hired. So technically, I am unemployed. However, I did get an email over the weekend that says, "Hey, here's you being terminated. This is from Macy's. Thank you for your employment, seasonal. This is your final day of work. Your last paycheck will be next week. It will include." Apparently, I have been accruing PTO time, and I am being paid out. So my paycheck will not only be my last paycheck for seasonal, but it's going to have my PTO hours as added pay for the last 3 or 4 months that I've been working. So that'll be a nice little bump.
That's what happens when you work and live in a democratic state.
Yeah,
and
I have
city.
like 20 hours of just from the 3 or 4 months. I have like 20 hours of PTO. So that's, I don't know how much money, I can't do it in my head, but that's a couple $100, $300-400, something like that. So it's nice. It'll be a nice little add-on.
Yeah, this my company does not pay out PTO.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you do, because you left here with like 4 weeks vacation.
I left a lot, and I'm like, nope, never see that again.
I should talk to the owner about that. Did. He still says no.
All right. So I was dealing with that, and then Thursday comes around. My brother, my older brother, and my mom fly in first, and I meet them, and then my sister and her husband flew in later that night, and then my younger brother and his girlfriend flew in the following day. So they flew in, and I was like, "Hey, let's go to my apartment so y'all can see my apartment, and then we'll go to dinner somewhere, like one of the little spots around here that are good." So we come here, and these poor people having to climb the stairs into my apartment. It was like, I felt like Moses leading my chosen people after marching them through the desert for like 6 months. They were tired, exhausted, they were starving, and we were only on the second floor.
So they didn't make it to your apartment?
They did eventually. It was slow moving, but we all got up here. It was the only time during their trip they came to my apartment. They're like, "We got to see it. That's nice. We're not going back." But I think that was also you guys. You and Dylan, when you came up here, you walked up, you came, saw the apartment. I don't think you've been back since.
No, we haven't. But it's not because I mean we can do it. It's just I think last time we had Jen with us, and Jen's like, "I'm not walking up the stairs." She's like, "I'm not doing it. Fourth floor walk up, not happening."
Yeah. So they came here, and then Joey and his girlfriend, my younger brother, didn't have an issue with it. They stayed with me. But they did complain every time they had to come up the steps, but they did it. So the others got in, and I took them over. Have you been to Empanada Mama's yet when you were here? Okay, it's over. It's like 2 blocks up. Empanada Mama's is a Mexican restaurant with like
Let me
40.
They sell empanadas.
They do like 40 different types.
Mama makes them. That sounds really good.
And they are delicious. We had an Italian sausage empanada. They have a Cuban empanada, a Philly cheesesteak empanada. They have one called the Viagra, which is seafood stew.
You sound like that character on SNL that what's his name? That's Kenan Thompson does. But he talks about mofongo.
Oh.
And he lists like all the like shrimp mofongo,
they have banana
chicken
mofongo, chicken mofongo.
He sounds like that guy.
Yeah,
or like
Big
the guy
Puppy.
from Forrest Gump.
But it's
I
love
would
that
like
place. Huh.
is I want a place that makes 40 different kinds of pierogies. I'm into pierogies now. But
I do love a good
delicious,
pierogi.
Yeah.
But so we went there, and now before I tell this story, I do want to say that all of my family, except for Joey and his girlfriend, who didn't come till Friday, lives in Orlando. They all live in small towns. So my mom and my older brother, they live in a small town in Georgia, just north of Jacksonville. My sister and her husband live in North Dakota. The entire state is a small town.
So one subway car is the size of their town, like
Basically,
of population. Yeah.
So if you have been to Hell's Kitchen, especially around that area, it is a big gay area. There are drag queens out in the wild, just walking around like normal people. This is not something that happens in a lot of small towns. So I thought it was adorable how they were like, hey, look, it's a drag queen. Just right out there, getting out of a car like a normal person.
And
I was
they're going to eat and shop just like everybody else.
Like, look at the big hair and the high heels, just like the ones I see on TV. So that I thought was funny because they were like, oh my God, it's a real drag queen.
Do you think she's on her way to Drag Race?
So Empanada's Mama is owned by a gay guy. So, and it's like a very gay restaurant. So there were a lot of gay people in there. Drag queens were there dining because they do eat food. Some of them, unless it's a circuit party,
especially at Miss Comedy Queen.
Yeah. So they had a good time, getting to. Because they were like, their intention with this, I'm moving past that.
I'm just kidding. I love Miss.
I do too.
I am not. I don't frequent.
I don't
shows,
think. Yeah.
But I love Miss Comedy Queen.
I don't think it is offensive to say that a good portion of comedy drag queens are on the thick side. If I was a drag queen, I'd be a comedy drag queen. Let's just say that. A lot of them are on the thick side.
That at the pageant last time there was no food. I was so hungry the whole time. Yeah. I'm like, look, I'm fat. I need to eat.
Every time I see a group of drag queens, I think of irony.
Anyway, sorry. Drag queen in the wild.
So because when they were coming here, they were like, we want to experience New York like your everyday New York. We don't want to be tourists, which is funny because besides going to Empanada Mama's and going to my apartment, the entire weekend was tourist stuff.
Right. So I want to be like a native. Let's go to the Statue of Liberty.
And it's like, oh, I do want to see this. Oh, I want to see this. And I was like, well, none of this is at all what I do on a daily basis.
We got to go to the back room of the bar if you want to be a New Yorker.
So when they got into town, I said, send me your hotel listings so that I can see if I can walk to your hotel or if I have to catch the bus or whatever. So they sent it to me. Their hotels are down in the financial district. I was like, you know what? You're a 40-minute train ride from me. This isn't
surprisingly a long way, isn't it?
It takes 40 minutes by train to get from my apartment to where their hotels were down in the financial district. So I was like, right off the bat, you're already tourists. And I tried giving them because like when I first got here, I was watching TikToks and stuff to try to assimilate into the people. And a lot of them were like, because if you don't like speak kind of the right lingo, they'll say, oh, you're a tourist. And then you're easily a target for scammers.
By that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, when you're in Manhattan, they don't call it Manhattan. They call it the city. So I know that all 5 boroughs are the city, but when they say the city, they mean Manhattan. Nobody really says Manhattan.
Yeah. All 5 boroughs are the city. Unless
New York
you live
City.
in the,
Yeah.
unless you live in the city.
Yeah. And I said, if you live
But
in one
it's
of
just the
if
city.
you're in one of the outer boroughs, you're going into the city. Unless you're in the Bronx, then you're just going downtown. So I told them that.
And you
They're
need
like,
a passport.
yeah. And they were like, okay. And then I said, and if you're going to take the subway, they don't call it the subway. They're like, I'm going to get the train.
The train.
Yeah. The subway is a sandwich shop.
I'm halfway there.
So I was telling them this. And then, of course, as soon as they all land and I get over to the hotel, they mock me. They're like, oh, don't call it the subway. And then they all laughed at me. And I was like,
let's
you know
all
what?
go to the train.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I hope every one of you gets scammed and they mug you and take your wallets. But they mocked me.
As a New Yorker.
So I was trying to save them, but I was like, whatever, you call it whatever you want. I'm just saying they're going to know you're a tourist and it makes you more susceptible to scams, but that's fine.
You're like, "No, you know what? Don't listen to me. Make eye
Yeah.
contact with everyone.
Yeah, look everybody in the eye, and every time
Smile
somebody
and nod.
stops and asks you for money, it's going to a good cause. Give it to them. So we went to Empanada Mama's. They had long days getting flights and connectings all there. So we did that, and then they all went back to their hotels and went to bed. Next day we get
A
up.
long journey to the financial district.
So I did this when I first got here, and I think I talked about on the podcast at the Jewish Center where they have the Anne Frank Museum. So that was running through. I think it ends the first week of February, unless they extended it again because they've done a couple of extensions. And all my siblings are like big history buffs, but my sister loves Anne Frank. She loves the Diary of Anne Frank. She likes reading about their experience in being in the attic. So she was like, I absolutely want to see this. So I get to the hotel because there's an Apollo Bagel over there, and that's my favorite bagel place. And I was like, oh, we'll get bagels there, and then we'll go over to the Anne Frank Museum. The problem when you have a large group of family members in town for anything, it takes a while to wrangle them together, make sure everybody gets ready, and then we get there, and then we get to a destination. So by the time we got everybody together, we had to go right to the Anne Frank Museum. So I did not get my Apollo Bagel, but I was like, don't worry. We will get an Apollo Bagel before you all leave.
Did you?
We'll get there.
So
I
was, you know, my favorite thing about having people in from out of town when I lived there is going to like this like any deli kind of a place and having to order food and watching out of towners try to keep up and order food because it's just impossible. In fact, the first place that I went to order food when I moved to New York, they were like, "What do you want?" And I said, I started looking at the menu, and they went, "Next, what do you want?" And like just pushed me out of the way until later when I was ready. I'm like, I know what I want.
Yeah, there were situations where it was you could tell that like the New York way of doing things did not sit well with my family.
Yeah.
So there's a bar in downtown and my brother and my brother-in-law were both cops, and they both still work in the government. So there's a bar down there where people bring patches, like their police patches, and they hang them on the walls and the ceilings and everything. It's what is that? I wrote it down. Hold on. It's the O'Hare's. O'Hare's. I believe it's O'Hare's downtown, and there's like thousands and thousands of police, firefighter, and military patches all over the walls. This is a cool place. So we go there, and it's busy, so we're waiting for them to put a table together for us. So they were like, you can sit at the bar and have a drink or whatever until your table's ready.
Also, going to any bar really in New York with a large group is difficult because they're tiny. Yeah.
So the bartender was very kind of short with my mother. So my sister first orders, she wants a Blue Moon. And he's like, he points to the tabs. He goes, that's what I got. And she's like, oh, okay. So then I forget what she orders. And then I forget what question my mom asked, but he was very just one word with her, like, yeah, what? And then she's like, oh, never mind. And then my sister said, oh, no, that's what it was. They asked for coffee at first. They said, do you have coffee? And he's like, no, it's a bar. And my sister's like, oh, okay, can I get a Blue Moon? He goes, I don't got that. I got this. And he points to the tabs. So she goes, oh, I'll take whatever she ordered. And then he walks away and starts getting the beer. And I said, Ma, order get yourself a soda or something. And she goes, nope, I don't want to get into trouble again. So then she said that. And she's like, I don't want nothing. And I don't like the way he talked to me. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. Now, she was born in New York. So my fear was that her inner New York was going to come out, and then they were going to start yelling at each other. But then the owner came over, and then her and him hit it off. They're like the best of friends, chatting away. So I was like, oh, okay. So it was just the bartender. But it was a cool place. We had lunch there. And then my brother came into town, Joey and his girlfriend. And what did we do that night? Where did we go for dinner? I don't remember where we went for dinner that night. I don't know. I don't remember either. So when they first got here, we were taking Ubers everywhere. So my older brother,
Uber money in New York.
He is not a fan of tunnels. He's claustrophobic. He doesn't do tunnels. So the subway was off limits. In fact, when they flew into JFK. And they took the train to Rockaway and took the ferry over because he would not get on the subway specifically because it goes under the river. He doesn't like anything that he's in a tunnel, but specifically nothing under the water.
Because the subway is like surprisingly spacious for something like that.
Some of it, yeah. There were parts, like particularly the train I had to take from my apartment to their hotel. There's a section because it goes down to 14th Street, and then you have to get on another train to go from 14th to Wall Street. And there's this part when you get on at 14th Street that kind of twirls around and goes down further underground. But you see the wall right up against the window here and the wall up here. And I was like, yeah, there's no way he'd go on this train. He would freak out if he saw this because it was like they were squeezing through this little tunnel and it was all spiral down.
And it squeaks because it hits the, yeah.
Not only does it squeak, but because it's been so cold, it's like extra squeaky and everything's wet because everybody's trekking the snow in. I was like, yeah, he'd have freaked out if I made him ride this train.
Sounds awesome.
So everything was Uber. For the first day, my brother-in-law refused to ride the bus because I'm not getting on a city bus. And I know someone else like that. So I get it. The city bus... The other person is you, yes.
I don't refuse to. I just think there's other ways to travel. Like, I'd rather climb the stairs and go into a rat-infested subway than ride the bus, which is weird, I know. Now, I did ride a bus.
He's the same way, yeah.
Because when you go to LaGuardia and you take public transportation, you take the subway till it ends, and then you get on a bus and you go a stop on this bus, which is fine. It's just that I think buses...
for poor people?
There's not a lot of options. I mean, it will be when your mayor makes them free, but I'm just kidding. Or am I? Now when there's just a lot of options when you go down a tunnel. There's you've got the one door to go in. Everybody wants to get on there, and then you get on, and you may not have a seat. And it's just I'd rather the subway. It's all.
I get you. I like the bus. The bus
also
is quick.
Traffic.
It's easy. Yeah. Now, I will say the train is better because there's no lights. There's no traffic or anything. But the train doesn't go everywhere. So the bus train combo, can't beat it. And transfers are free at $1.50 because I have fair fare. I can be all over the town for $1.50. It's amazing.
Yeah. Listen, everywhere I lived in New York was like 8th Avenue. It was like 8th Avenue to Broadway, like every single place. So everything was within walking distance. If I lived on 11th or 12th or 700th or whatever, I'd probably get used to that bus system real fast.
Yeah. So Saturday was we need to see Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. So my sister arranged for us to have
that sounds cold.
Oh, it was so cold.
It's a long line, huh?
A little bit.
Or was it not?
A little bit. It was a little bit. It was 12 degrees when we got on the ferry to head out. But my sister had arranged for us to have a tour guide. And his name was Joseph. Huh. And he was fantastic. He was, this won't surprise anybody. I feel like everybody in this career field probably started out this way. He came to New York to be an actor, and that didn't work out. So he does this until that takes off. I feel like that is most people in New York. Nobody is doing the job that they want to do. They're doing the job that is temporary and then till they hit it big on Broadway or something. So, but he was super nice, fun, very informative, did voices. So like he was talking about, the building of the Statue of Liberty and the people involved. He would do voices for them. He was very entertaining. But it was very, very cold. And I'm guessing because it was cold, a lot of people canceled. So there was supposed to be like 40 people in our tour group. And it was us and then 2 people from Mexico. So what he normally does is so he can keep track of the group, he calls them by where they're from. So because they kept veering off to go to their own thing. So through our entire trip, it was Joseph, our family, and him going, "Has anyone seen the Mexicans?" And I'm like, I don't think we should be shouting that right now. But he was great at his job. So we went to the Statue of Liberty. She's a big old statue, not as big as I thought she would be. The pedestal is much bigger in comparison to the statue than I thought it was going to be.
But did you walk up the stairs
to the statue? No, it was far too cold.
Yeah, it's that's where it starts. You start to feel its height when you have to walk up that slow, winding staircase. That's where I became afraid of heights. I didn't have a fear of heights until I climbed that staircase.
Well, half of the people in our group are afraid of heights, so that probably wouldn't have bode well for them.
Yeah.
But it was
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
It's a real tight squeeze.
Yeah, we talked about it, but it was extra money and it's freezing and it's not heated in there. So it's just a giant metal cold tomb for all of us to die in. So we're we're good.
Like the staircase is so small and you're walking up that your face is like in the ass of the person in front of you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. Maybe I should have gone.
I mean, if you can pick who you stand in front of him.
I would.
Sure.
I would. I'm not going to put my head in my mother's ass. So we finished at the Statue of Liberty. Gross. And then we went over to Ellis Island. And I don't know if have you ever been to Ellis Island? Did you do that part?
I think so.
So he brought us in there and told us all this interesting stuff about it. And the whole place. You ever seen the movie Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo? The whole place gives me Shutter Island vibes, and it was scary, but kind of cool scary. Now it's not an asylum. There was no atrocities done there that I know of, but the look. I don't want people listening to this and be like, "How dare you?" The entryway of America's immigration population is not a horror film. It was kind of like a horror film, a little bit, but it was a cool place.
I mean, it depends on who you talk to now. They might say it currently is.
True. So we did that. Wonderful. And then I had made, because I wanted to have one restaurant where we went to that was kind of a nice restaurant. So I made reservations and I was looking around. And there was a place in the Upper West Side, because at this point I thought we were going to be more in my neighborhood. I thought they had gotten hotels in like Midtown or something. So I made it in the Upper West Side at Joanne's. And if you don't know about Joanne's, that is the restaurant owned by Lady Gaga's parents.
Really?
Yes. So we go there and they have, like in, what's that Italian restaurant where it's got like all the different themed rooms? It's like family style where they put the
Buca di Beppo.
Buca di Beppo, yes. They have a little dining room area, sort of like that, where it's separated from the rest of the restaurant, and we got that. So it's just a big dining room table. We all got in there. Pictures of Lady Gaga everywhere. They are so proud of her.
Listen, if I had a daughter and she was rich and famous like that, I would put her picture everywhere too.
Yeah. So, we're standing waiting for our table to be ready. And this gentleman comes up and he sits at the end of the table or at the end of the bar. And he orders, he gets a drink or whatever he orders. And I'm on my phone and my mom and sister are sitting at the bar and Joey and his girlfriend are over here waiting. We're waiting for my brother and his partner, not his partner, my sister's partner, my sister's husband. They had gone to take photos of something else that I won't talk about, but we were waiting for them to come. They are conservative, so there was a certain tower they wanted to go take photos of.
Got it.
Yeah. So while we're waiting on them, we're sitting there waiting for an official table, and this guy sits down, and this couple comes up, and they're like, sir, it's my birthday. Would it be okay if I took a photo with you? And I was like, oh my God, is he famous or something? So I'm because his back is towards me. And I was like, oh my God, I have to know who this is. So I nonchalantly, I walk over to Joey and I'm like, oh, hey, Joe. And then I turn to look and I don't know who it is. It's just a man. So I'm listening in to be like, oh, maybe he'll say what he's from. And he goes, would it be okay? It's my birthday if I took a photo with you? We really love your daughter. And I realized it's Lady Gaga's dad, the owner of the restaurant. And I was like, I love your daughter. I love her music. I'm not sure if I would hunt down her family members to get photos with them. But you're at his restaurant, I guess.
Take a picture of you and your brother and then tell your friends it's Lady Gaga's father. They're not going to know.
Right? So he does this. All right. And I was like, oh, Papa Gaga does not want to take a photo.
That apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? I'm just kidding. I don't know her at all.
So he gets up, he takes the photo, and he goes, thank you so much. He goes, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good time. And then he sits down. He was actually very gracious. I think he had been working a very long day. He had just sat down at the bar. Probably to have a shot or a glass of wine or something to wind down. And they're like, can we take a photo of you in front of, they have a Pac-Man game in the lobby, which I thought was awesome. I love Pac-Man. In front of the Pac-Man machine. And he's like, I'm so tired. My back hurts. Okay. So he gets up, takes the photo. So then they take us back. They're like, your table's ready. We go, we get sat down. We're checking out the menu. And I drink Smirnoff Ice now, but normally I drink Cabernet. That's my wine. So I look and they got Cabernet on there, $17.50 for a glass of Cabernet or $38 for a bottle of Cabernet. I'd be stupid not to get the bottle. I am the only one drinking Cabernet. Let me just
anyone that listens to this podcast knows you bought the bottle.
So everybody orders their drinks by just a glass. Chris came and met us and had dinner with us. He orders a glass of Merlot. My sister drinks white wine. She ordered whatever white wine she drinks. My mom got a glass of wine. And they get to me and I was like, can I have a bottle of Cabernet? And they all look at me like, oh, God. It's going to be one of those nights. So we all order. I got, next time you're up here, we'll go. I got it's called the Papa G, which I think stands for Papa Gaga, I'm assuming. But it's chicken and Italian sausage mixed in this sauce. That was just unbelievable. I don't know what kind of sauce it was, but Chris got the ribeye. And by the end of my meal, he was dipping his ribeye in my sauce because my sauce was so good. It was just absolutely delicious. It was the best sauce.
And it was a sauce because it had meat. Otherwise, it'd be gravy.
Other way around. You're talking on pasta. This wasn't on pasta.
Oh, okay.
This was just meat in a bowl with sauce. If there's no pasta involved, it's just sauce.
Meat in a bowl. I like it.
And it was delicious, and I loved it. And I drank the whole bottle of wine. And by the end of the bottle, I was feeling real good. And they had a lady singing who I'm sure is related
was
to
it a Lady Gaga?
She's related to the whole vibe of everyone there. They just give we're family member vibes. Like, oh, Papa G's my uncle, or Papa G's my cousin. And there's this girl, and this beautiful girl, long dark hair, looks like not like it wasn't Lady Gaga, but looks like she could be related to Lady Gaga, singing show tunes. She goes, I know a lot of people probably don't know this song, but I love this song. It's from Shucked. Joey and Haley, his girlfriend, were like, oh my God, we love Shucked. So they're singing along to it. Then she starts singing Cabaret. I'm a bottle in. I started singing Cabaret. She came up to the table. We sang Cabaret together. I was feeling real good.
Except Jeremy's screaming, life is a Cabernet, old friend.
It was a blast. Then we finished dinner. She comes up to the table, the waitress. She's like, do we want any desserts? And because I am a bottle in, I said, what is her favorite dessert? You know what I mean by her. And she goes, yeah, I know what you mean by her. She likes the cannolis. And I said, cannolis for everyone.
I was hoping they'd say, like, her favorite dessert is an 8-ball.
So we got cannolis and coffees, and they bring out. Now, when her dad was at the bar, he has this hat that says no on the front, and then on the back it says also no. So they bring out the coffee cups, and their coffee cups say no and also no. So they put them down, and I was like, can you explain the coffee mugs and the hats to me? And she told me the story. I don't remember it because I was drunk. But she explained it to me, and I said, oh, that's really cool. So we eat, we drink, great time, and then they bring the check.
$7,000.
I am at the drunk point where I'm just like, give me the check. Just give it to me. And I take it, and I look at it, and I take my card out, and I put it in there. I was like, dinner's on me. And they're all like, no. How much is it? How much is it? The bill was almost $900. And drunk me was like, I got
two
this.
pairs of Uggs. You're like, can I pay you in Uggs?
So I will say, after I say it's almost $900, Chris says I'll pay half of it. So Chris and I went halfsies on it, and we treated everybody to a Lady Gaga dinner. So everybody kept saying,
that's $180 tip.
Yeah. That included the tip because parties over 6 gratuity is added. But you're not wrong. It was like $180 tip because they had tip there. I was like, she's getting a good tip from us. And they brought it, and I signed it like I was freaking Rockefeller. I was like, after this, we're visiting my center because I'm apparently Rockefeller. And I hand it off, and they're all like, let us pay for it. I was like, no. Nobody. I don't want any money from anybody. This was my treat. So to thank us, my sister got me, because they sell the coffee mugs, got me and Chris the coffee mugs, because when they kept offering us money, I kept saying no. So we got a pair of Lady Gaga mugs out of it, which was nice.
Oh, nice.
But it was such a fun time. So everybody was exhausted. Because the storm was moving in, Sunday it was supposed to be, that was like when it was the bad part of it was moving in. So everybody was adjusting their flights to leave early because they were like, they wanted to try to make it leave before the storm. So they were all trying to move their flights to Sunday morning. So they were like, we got to get back to the hotel. It's late. I am drunk off my ass. And I was like, no, my night is not over. And I was like, who's going to...
Flashbacks to Dylan's birthday.
Oh my God, very much.
Not
yes.
you, but everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you take your family to Brooklyn?
I should have. They went back to the hotel. I went to karaoke. I went back to RPM Underground because I was like, they kept saying, oh, show us stuff that you do. And I was like, I like to go sing karaoke at this dive bar. And none of them came. So I walked in there alone. I ordered a whiskey, and I sat at the bar. And I said, I'm going to get a little more drunk, and then I'm going to sing. And there's an old lady, an older lady, not quite my age, but close to it. She is at the bar, wasted off her ass. She orders another White Claw. I don't know how many White Claws she was in. I'm going to guess 30 or 40. And she's like, her name is Debbie. We introduced ourselves. And she was having a rough day and just had to get away from whatever she was dealing with and was sitting at the bar alone. So Debbie's at the bar alone. I'm at the bar alone. She's drinking White Claw. I'm drinking whiskey.
I feel like this ends like that Saturday Night Live thing where it's just the two people at the end of the night with what was her name that did it? The lesbian that left.
Oh, Kate McKinnon.
And then she just starts licking the person at the bar.
Oh, we almost got there, I think. We almost got there. Yeah. So I look at her and I was like, I think I'm going to sing something. And she says, let's sing something together. So we sang Up Where We Belong from An Officer and a Gentleman. I think we sounded amazing, but we were both drunk. So we probably sounded like shit. In my head, we were fantastic.
You ever see that episode of Family Guy where Lois and Peter are performing? They're high and they perform.
Yes.
That's like this beautiful number, but then they catch the last things and they're just like,
that probably was us. But they applauded us afterwards, either for our amazing singing or that we were done. And they're like, oh my God, please send the drunkards home. So then we're sitting at the bar having a good time. Debbie was fantastic. I finish up my whiskey. I set the glass down. I turned to talk to Debbie. Her head is down on the counter. She is passed out. So I said, all right, Debbie's passed out. I took my jacket, my bag, and I walked out. I never saw Debbie again.
Oh my gosh! And she blacked out, and she has no memory of you.
Probably. I don't know.
Fleeting moment in time.
She just woke up and she was like, I remember an angel singing to me. No, that was just a dream, Debbie. Just a dream. So then I went home and I passed out on the couch. And then all day Sunday, I did not get off the couch. Joey and his girlfriend got up and they said, hey, we have to go take our flight to the plane or get to the plane. So I gave them a hug goodbye. I got back on the couch. I was in and out of consciousness on Sunday. I was texting the family. I was like, hope you all made it home okay. And I did nothing. I had such a freaking hangover yesterday. I have a little bit of a hangover still today. It is carried over to today. So I did nothing yesterday except I didn't get out of my robe and just open the blinds in the bedroom and watch the snow fall and fall and fall, hour after hour. I had stocked up on groceries. Some of it, I did a crock pot of soup. And then I also had dry goods in case the power went out. I was like, I need food that I can eat that I don't have to cook. And it was a good time. And then I woke up this morning and, so everybody kind of went off on their flights. My brother made it to Orlando. His flight was good. My sister and my brother-in-law, they had flown out of Newark because they each did different airports. Joey and his girlfriend did LaGuardia. No issues. My sister and her husband did Newark. They got to the airport. Their flight was canceled. They had to spend the night in Jersey. They're still in New Jersey.
Oh, shit.
Their flight leaves in a couple of hours. A few days. My brother was like, listen, it's fine. We're not going to move our flight. Our flight is Monday afternoon, so we should be fine. I think that the storm will pass. So they are on a ferry on their way to JFK, where they were just informed that their flight was canceled. So they will be taking off about 7:30 tonight. They had a direct flight back to Jacksonville. Now they have to fly into Atlanta. And then from Atlanta to Jacksonville. My mom is not a good flyer. She hates flying. And the fact that she has a connection flight now is freaking the fuck out of her. But she's got Xanax.
Why don't they just rent a car and drive from Atlanta to Jacksonville? It's not that far.
You know what? This won't air until Wednesday, but if she heard that, she'd probably be like, that's a good damn idea. We should do that. But I will let her know when she gets back. Oh, you guys should have rented a car. Rick says it's just a hop and a skip and a jump.
Text her right now. So when she gets off the plane to get her connecting one, she's like, oh, let's just do. Oh, then they have to drive to the airport to get their bags.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's got Xanax. That's the other thing I forgot to mention, because this kind of feeds into what I had told her. But they opened a dispensary downstairs. And my brother and his girlfriend, before we went to meet them for everybody for dinner, went in there and they have like Red Bull drink. It's not Red Bull brand, but like a Red Bull type drink with weed in it. So they got a couple of those. We were talking to the owner down there, and he's like, is it your first time here? And I said, yeah, I live upstairs, but this is my first time in here. And he goes, great, I have a free gift for you all. And he goes in the back, and he came out, and he gave us a joint. I got a joint sitting on my table. I might smoke later. I don't know. So super nice. They have I tried the drinks that they had. They're really good. There's a honeycomb one that he heats up to make like a hot honey tea and gets high at night. It's amazing. So I'm probably going to pick up a few of those.
I'd be more the edible route. I don't think I'll smoke anything ever again.
Yeah.
You know, crack just did it for me. I can't smoke anything.
Yeah, indeed. And then this morning before they got on their ferry, my brother wanted to see Francis Tavern, which is the oldest building in Manhattan. And apparently was the first executive office for George Washington, because New York City was the original capital of the United States until they moved to D.C. Francis Tavern upstairs was where the executive branch met. So the Treasury Department was there, the Commerce or whatever the departments were. But George Washington used to go down and have himself a few beers in the tavern between signing executive orders, apparently, allegedly. But it was a really cool place.
Do you know who doesn't? Our president, because he
No.
doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink, nor does he use logic. The last thing I want to mention, and this will be really quick, because I thought this was funny. Leading up to the massive storm coming in, Mamdani kept advising the city on what was coming, and he gave a shout out to our favorite show. He said, "Don't go out into the storm.
For the love of DILFs?
Don't venture out into the storm. Stay at home, run a bath, and read a digital copy of Heated Rivalry, which is now available at the New York Public Library on their website." Give a shout out to Heated Rivalry.
Did he just lose the women's vote? Because they're probably like,
but he gained
this
the
is only
Jeremy
for
Love.
us, man. You shouldn't be.
He gained the Jeremy Love. I tell you what,
He had Jeremy Love.
if he came out of the closet and his wife was like, you know what, I get it. I would step forward and be his first lady. I would volunteer his tribute.
Well, that
anyway,
sounds like
so
a very
that
exciting time.
was...
I'm glad you got to see your family and they got to
Yes.
see you, and even though they hate, New York is tough for people, especially I would say like law enforcement from a smaller city.
Yeah,
They probably have a tough time with New York.
yeah. I mean, there's the walking was a lot for them,
Yeah.
particularly
It's a lot of
walking in 10-degree weather. That is, walking in the cold is different than walking
Yeah.
in any other temperature. It was bad.
It was windy too, because the wind in New York
Yeah.
will kill you.
But
That's what it is.
when we were going to the Statue of Liberty, yeah, because it's right there on the water.
Mm.
And then this morning, walking in that snow was treacherous. Have you seen that video? That British lady, she's like, "Don't make treacherous journeys." I kept hearing that in my head as we kept walking through the snow. It's crazy. But how was your week?
My week was good. Actually, that's a lie. My week sucked, but some fun things happen. I was driving into work on Wednesday, and all of a sudden, like my car bells started beeping and lights were flashing, and it said, "Hey, we have to run a diagnostic right now." And I was like, "Okay." And then it said, "Hey, your battery's jacked up. It needs service right now." So I'm like, "Okay." Press a button, calls Blue Link sets up a appointment for me, and like then everything stopped working. The heat stopped working, all this other stuff stopped working. So I get to work, I come in, when I go to lunch, everything's working fine. But I'm like, you know what? I have an extended warranty, and so anytime I'm not at the extended warranty moment, but anytime my car says you need service, I take it in. So I took it in this morning and dropped it off, and I told the guy, I was like, when you ever make an appointment to see the doctor, and then like that morning of, you start feeling better and you show up and you're like, yeah. And the doctor's like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah.
I was like, I know we're in that moment, but I
guess
wasn't
nothing's
canceling
wrong
this appointment
anymore.
Yeah. He was like, "Well, I don't know what we can do." And I said, "Why don't you just run into diagnostic and do the next maintenance work and call it a day?" So anyway, they've absolutely nothing was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Went to Out for Business in
What's
St.
that?
Pete to cocktail. That's Watermark's social. Oh, we partner with the Tampa Bay Chamber now and do the events
that's
out
right,
there every
yeah.
other month. And so we call it Out for Business, which is really nice. It's really good to go to, and it's great to partner with them because a lot of different people come. We have a good time. It's not terrible. I'll say that because we drive out there, do the event, and drive back. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Where
I,
was
of
it
course,
this
didn't
time?
drive. Cocktail.
Oh, it was at Cocktail. Gotcha.
Oh my God, I'm going to stay at the Mary Jane. I'm staying at the Mary Jane Valentine's Day weekend because I'm playing in a softball tournament in Tampa. So I got a hotel room there because they were willing to do trade, thankfully.
Oh, nice.
And so
What's
my
the Mary
brother's
Jane?
going too. It's the hotel that's above Cocktail.
Oh,
Same
okay.
owners.
Oh, that place. I've heard stories.
Yeah, and it's like the kickoff to Winter Pride, but Winter Pride kicks off on the 15th. So I was like, I can't stay there on a Friday or Saturday night of a Pride event because it's just gonna be never-ending noise, right? But it's not, so it should be fun. So there's that. It was my nephew's birthday this last cycle, which was kind of cool. So this is fun. My nephew is well, I'll just say that is in the market for like a whole new wardrobe. So we bought a
Yeah.
bunch of clothes for him. But in buying these clothes, do you remember?
Is it the nephew who just got married?
No.
Oh.
So it's my youngest nephew.
Mm.
Yeah, without giving too much away, it's my youngest nephew. And my newest nephew. No, it's not my youngest. I don't know. It is. I have a grandnephew. But anyway, do you remember the story like from back? And I think it was the year my dad died. So I was dating somebody who was fascinated by this silver onesie, right? Like he saw this onesie and he's like, I must have this. And it was like I say onesie, but it was like, I think it was long sleeve and long legs. And it was just one piece and it was silver lame. And so it was like real tight and he was fascinated by it. And he's like, I want that. I want to wear it for New Year's Eve. And I was like, all right. So I bought it for him. Well, then my dad passed away. And so I'm like, well, we're not going out to wear this. And he was very disappointed. And I was like, I'll tell you what, my family's coming over to the house. So we'll go out for happy hour and then we'll come back and we'll be with the family. So he wore it to happy hour. When we got back to the house, my whole family was there, including my nephew, who was like 4 at the time. And when we walked in, my nephew, who never liked this guy, like as a baby, cried and cried and cried every time he was around. If he made eye contact with this baby cried. 4 years old, we walk in the door, the 4-year-old looks up like that and goes, the biggest eye roll we've ever seen, right? Hilarious. So this nephew is turning 14. And so I thought it'd be hilarious if I bought my nephew a silver lame onesie as a joke. And so we buy this and then we sign the card from my ex. So as soon as he reads the card and sees it's from the ex, he's like, oh my God. So he tells all of his friends this whole story about this silver lame onesie before he opens it and finds out he has his own. He couldn't have planned it better than that. Like when he started telling the story, we all looked at each other like, yeah, this is going to be good. And he was like, oh my God. And his friends thought it was hilarious. And it was really cool. So it's cool. We had a good time. And I got to hear my nephew sing. I heard that my nephew was auditioning to go to like performing arts schools and was singing. And this is a very new thing. And I'd never heard him sing. So I got to hear him sing. And I was like, all right, you can sing. All right. I can see, with some training and going through school and studying this, musical theater is definitely something I think that he can do. So that's exciting because I, kind of have a thing for musical theater. Speaking of musical theater, let me just jump in real quick. I got into a conversation with somebody at the Tampa Bay mixer thing, and we were talking. I know this person is producer of some shows, like producer of Drag the Musical, Heather's the Musical, involved in that kind of stuff. And I see that he goes up there a lot and he sees a lot of shows. So I said, hey, have you seen Chess? He said, God, I hated it. I almost walked out at intermission.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what the?
Did you scream and slap him?
I said, one day we'll find something we agree on. They also saw Ragtime and they liked it. So I'm like, well, there you go. We both like Ragtime. I was like, but I think that like his style of musical is like upbeat. So like he loved One Night in Bangkok from Chess. And I love power ballads. And Chess is like all power ballads except that one song. So obviously he didn't like it. But that's okay. That's okay. Everybody has a certain taste. So here's
just real quick, since you're already on Broadway, did you hear who is replacing Jonathan Groff in Just in Time?
I did.
Yes, Jeremy Jordan.
My first question was, is he going to end up on the floor in boxers like Jonathan Groff? Because it might be worth the price.
Because I like Jonathan Groff, but not enough to pay those tickets prices. I will buy a ticket to see Jeremy Jordan in this show. I love him.
It will be nothing compared. Jonathan Groff is one of the most talented people, and his show is just energetic and amazing. And
yeah, Jeremy Jordan's hotter, and I'm going to look at him. Yeah.
I'll go see that one too, and I'll compare them, and I'll let you know that Jonathan Groff is better. So here are 2 things that happened this weekend that are not the coolest thing. I've been working all weekend, so I may not be like, in like, hey, let's do podcast mode, because I'm in like a numbers mode. I've been entering contracts like crazy. Like I worked at least 16 hours over the weekend getting us ready for this database upgrade. Now, what that means is while you're here in this office on the weekend, other people have things that they do. So I'm one of these people that doesn't want to bother anybody, and I don't want to get involved in what anybody's doing. So on Saturday, the center was having their board retreat, their annual board retreat. So I just sat here, threw on some headphones. Shout out to Dan Vask, who I discovered listening to YouTube music, and I'm fascinated now. I'm in love. So, but I'm listening to music the whole time, and I sat at this desk the whole time they were here. They were here from like 11 to 3, and I never moved, never got out. They didn't even know I was here. I was just quiet doing my work. Well, the next day when I came in, about like 10:30, 11-ish, the church showed up. So there's the church that happens here, but it's like, it's not a typical church. Like, here are some quotes that I heard, and I apologize if the pastor listens, and I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, not phrases you expect to hear from a pastor. So things like, I'll fucking kill somebody. I don't care. Don't call yourself a fucking Christian if you're going to fucking act like that. These are quotes during the sermon. I think it was talking about like defending people against ICE, that kind of stuff. So it was just intense, and I didn't want to get involved. So I was like, I'm going to stay in my office again. Unfortunately, before I heard their voices, I had just had a cup of tea. And so an hour later, I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. And like an hour after that, I'm like, when is this church in? I'm sweating. I'm looking around. I'm like, what do I have in here? What can I do? And I hate to say it, but I found an empty water bottle. I stood in the corner underneath that camera so I wouldn't be seen, and I just peed into the water bottle in the corner of the room so that I didn't have to interact with anybody. I thought that was sad. That was the saddest part of my weekend. Almost. Can you imagine that it got sadder?
Can we just sit with that for a second?
I was trying to run past it, but we can. Oh, please. Like, you haven't had to use the bathroom at a place that that was not desirable.
Not a bottle.
Hey,
there was a bathroom there. Church people aren't scary. You can just run real quick to the bathroom. I mean, if you really want to be in a bottle.
In general, they aren't. But
this guy was scaring you?
I know. He said he's going to kill people. How did I know he didn't talk about me? What if I startled them because they didn't know I was in here, and then they just start bam, 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 bam?
What if a cleaning lady walked in whilst you were doing it? Do you have a lock on your door at least?
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah. And when I'm here by myself, I lock the door.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I'm afraid of ghosts. Because ghosts can't come through the door. They're like, it's so weird.
Ooh.
And when nobody was here, the kitchen and the hallway bathroom, there's like an exit sign, so it glows red, and the bathroom is right by this glowing red light. Every time I have to go to the bathroom and I was here and nobody else was here, I'd call Jen or Dylan. And I'm like, I'm walking to the bathroom, and he should be on the phone with me, because ghosts and murderers won't bother you when you're on the phone.
Of course.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You should just bring a blanket with you, because if you tuck your feet under the blanket and then pull the blanket over you, they can't get to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
I think that, the center has cameras out there. I think it would be hilarious if you saw me walking, like scooting with it over. What's Rick doing? Oh, he's going to the bathroom. He didn't want to get killed by a ghost. So that's not the worst thing that happened to me this week. So last night, we're sitting in the house, and we've been hearing the noises in the attic. It's an ongoing thing. It's been longer than we've been doing this podcast. We've had rats in the attic off and on, and all kinds of craziness. And so I figured out what it is that gets them in the traps. So we bought this like a week ago, and last night I was finally like, well, let's get upstairs. Let me rebait the traps and reset the cameras and get all that ready. And so we go up there, and I was like, my only request is that somebody peek their head up through the little hole to keep me company again, so that ghosts and rats don't kill me.
Of course.
And so Dylan peeks his head up, and I'm like, maybe we should clean it, because there's just junk up there, like lighting equipment, building materials, stuff that the people who flipped the house just threw up there. And so I'm like, maybe we should get all this down. And Dylan's like, yeah. And I was like, should we get it down and then bait the traps or whatever? I was like, let's do that. So I was releasing the traps. And as I'm releasing them, Dylan's like, well, be careful. And I was like, I'm always snap right on my thumb.
Oh. It
Look,
happened
it's
because he told you to be careful.
I know, right? It's bruised from here through to the
Yeah.
other side. It hurt so bad. Oh, and and Dylan, all he could sit there like, and thankfully he didn't say it. He could just sit there like, I told you so. I told you to keep careful. And I'm like, it happened, and I went, what is wrong with me? Why did I just do that? Like, I know. It's like when Jen told me not to drive that Memorial Day because there were cops everywhere, and I did it anyway, and
it happens because they tell you if you put it in the universe, they're gonna get you.
Jen's fault. I'm sober.
It is.
So anyway, that was extremely painful. It remains extremely painful, and I hate my life. And I'm pretty sure, because you can see it's dark under the nail, I'm pretty sure it means that I'm gonna lose that nail in about a week or two, which sucks because I have that softball tournament coming up. But anyway, that was my week.
Nice. I did realize as you were talking that I had mentioned something in the beginning of me telling about my week that I was like, oh, wait till the end. And I never got back to it. So this morning I was because I went to see my brother and my mom before they left. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take them to Apollo Bagels. I'm going to show them how good it is. So we get an Uber because there's piled snow. And I was like, we're not going to walk there. It was like half a mile, but I was like, we're just going to take an Uber there. So we get the Uber, we pull up, and it's closed. They decided they were not going to open because of the storm. There was a bunch of stuff closed today, which is driving me nuts. But I was like, I finally got you to an Apollo Bagel, and they're not freaking open. So we're sitting in the Uber. So we're like, just take us back to the hotel. And he's like, you have to put it into the app. I can't. Like, it's a freaking robot. I can't move until the app tells me. So I sat there for like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to put it in. A half-mile trip up there and back cost me almost $25.
Oh, wow.
Just so we could see that Apollo Bagel didn't open.
You should have taken them for scones.
They were closed too. I looked it up because I was like,
okay.
Yeah, they were. Everybody was closed today because nobody wanted to open.
The city that never sleeps
on ice. On ice.
So we decided we had decided when we left the show last Tuesday that we were going to watch Eating Out Drama Camp.
Yes, that is what we decided.
That is the decision we made. So I go home, and they're all like, what are you going to watch this week? And I was like, this. So I show them the preview to this.
And they're like, not with me.
Jen was angry. Like, she's like, why? Like, she's just mad. Like, she's like, I got to find something to do now because I'm not watching this crap. And it looks hard to watch. And I mean, just like terrible. I mean, it's what you would expect. It's that whole series. It's just real campy, real sex. Like, imagine if Heated Rivalry was like camp comedy, and so, but and not as good in any element of producing a show. So I was searching for something. I don't know. I got caught in this YouTube loop of something, looking for like a new show to watch or something like that because I finished Baby Reindeer, and I thought, oh, let's watch something else. And I came across this movie, which has all the elements of something you would think I would hate. So it's a movie about a lesbian poet, and
a spoken word poet,
not just a poet, like a spoken word poet, like poetry slam poetry shows, and not really on my list of. I mean, it might make the top 50 of things that I might do in a day, but more like 48, 49, right? So, but I watched the preview for it, and I immediately texted you and said, hey, this is an Oscar-nominated documentary, and I think we should watch it because it looked – from the preview, I was like, I need to watch this. So we decided that we would watch this instead at the last minute. Had a little.
Yes.
So the name of the show is Come See Me in the Good Light.
Yes. And it is like you mentioned, it is nominated for an Oscar this year for Best Documentary Feature. And it is about the end of life for Andrea Gibson, who is an American poet laureate for the state of Colorado, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2021.
Yeah, so her whole story here, in a nutshell, is she was diagnosed with cancer. She went through a year of chemo, and then it metastasized. And then she went through another year of chemo, and then it grew even more. And they told her at that moment, this is incurable. You maybe have a couple of years, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, she mentioned she had a stomach bug that turned into a stomach anaconda. Found out it was cancer, did chemo. 2 years later, it came back and spread. They did chemo again. 4 months later, it came back, and they said, listen, this is incurable. And then it's basically about kind of different things that she did that extended, because they said you probably have, what did they say, 2 years left tops, and she ended up living almost 3 years after that. Spoiler alert, they don't even, I don't know if you, but they don't mention it in the documentary, but it's because the documentary came out before she died. Or it was being finished before she died, but she died in July of last year.
Yeah, we had to look it up. When it was over, we looked it up. We're like, wait a minute, because it's not a show about hope that she's going to survive. It's a show about the decisions a person makes and the life they live when they find out that their life is ending.
Yeah, and what your legacy is going to be, and what you can do if you have that diagnosis and you only have a few years left, what can you do to kind of leave your mark?
What do you think Rotten Tomatoes was on this?
This is, I mean, it's nominated for an Oscar, and this is the kind of documentary stuff that critics love. So I'm going to say like a 97, 98.
It's got a critic and an audience.
Oh, audience, I'm going to say 97, 90. I'm going to say the audience and the critics line up on this one.
Critics 100.
Oh, okay.
Audience 98.
There you go.
And I have to say, I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a Five Grapes amazing show. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was surprised that I loved it.
This is one of those...
didn't just love like the storyline.
Yeah.
I actually loved the poetry in it too. Like I would have gone to that last show. I would have been annoyed by the audience because I usually am. But I liked them. I did.
Yeah.
They had me from the start.
This is one of those movies where people are like, oh my God, it's life-changing, one of the best movies of the year. But secretly, you're like, I'd rather watch Weekend at Bernie's again. I didn't love it. It's definitely a touching story, but to me, it is a very boring movie. I was so bored. I picked up my phone so many times to scroll on TikTok because it's just, I've seen a lot of documentaries about end of life and people dying and people having cancer, and I didn't feel like this. And I feel bad because she seems like a great, poet, and she does have some great poems. I wrote some lines and stuff. She said she's a great word person, even though she said in the documentary she doesn't know that many words, and that's why her first book is like just a handful of words all rearranged in different poems. I got real bored with this movie. Like real bored.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that it can be slow. I get that people might see that, but to me, it was like I bought into her whole premise. The whole premise of her life is that I haven't lived my life to the fullest, and so at the moment that I'm told it's going to end, I'm going to live every day. And it's so, like, I feel like you make one of two choices, right? And let's talk about it in terms of entertainment. So there's this show I watched called Chicago Med, and there is a character in there that got a diagnosis that she has this gene where she is likely in later in life to develop this disease that will kill her. So she lives recklessly. She's like, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to just bust into this house and save this woman whose husband's abusing her, and he's going to shoot at me, and I don't care. Like, she just goes all in this sort of recklessness. But this person chose, and this is like one of the moments I love the most about it. To me, one of the tissue box moments is she reads this poem called Little Things, and she's talking about her bucket list that she's going to live once this diagnosis comes down. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon, or I'm going to travel here, or I'm going to do all this. It was a list of the little things that she wanted to do. And one of them was calling her mother every night before she goes to bed. And she knew what time her mother went to bed, and whatever time zone she was in, she was going to call her mother and say goodnight to her. And it was just a whole list of things like that I loved. I bought into the whole thing, and I loved their attitude of like, hey, if we get bad news, we're just gonna say good, and we're gonna say that I have the opportunity to appreciate this moment. And I'm sure that there is footage on the ground somewhere that didn't make it into this movie where they were screaming and yelling. But this idea, right, that they're and her partner, or I keep saying their partner in this was solid. You know, and I thought like this whole like, I'm not going to worry until I have to worry. You know, we know that this is coming down. We know what the end result is going to be, and we're going to work through it. And I thought that's beautiful. I thought all of it was beautiful.
I mean, it's a good story. There is a lot of documentaries and TV shows and movies out there about people who have cancer and how they deal with cancer. I would say that this fits nicely in the whole mix of that.
You know what helps? Tig Notaro. What? I love her.
Yeah, she's a producer on it.
And one of my favorite songs is The Story by Brandi Carlile. Yeah. It's Brandi Carlile's an executive producer, and they used the song in there. So, boom. As soon as I heard that music, I was like, give me a tissue.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
It was fine. My favorite part of the movie is early on when they're having dinner with their friends, and they're talking about a message that Andrea left for her friend when she says the cancer came back, but Meg, who's their partner, Meg's going to finger me tonight and see if she can't get rid of the cancer with her finger. And her friend calls them back and leaves a message saying, fingering is nice, but have you tried getting thumbed? I got thumbed the other day and I don't have cancer. I don't know if that is connected in any way, but you should try it. I was cracking up because I played the messages. That shit cracked me up.
It was really funny. And it made me wonder, and I didn't Google it because, you know, I don't want like my whole search history to get me in trouble. But is thumbing a thing?
I mean, obviously a fingering is a thing. A thumb is not a finger technically. So I think that.
Is that a thing that the ladies do? I mean, I'm not going to look at Caitlin.
You would have to ask someone. Gets awkward. Maybe someone
she
not
just gave
on your
2 thumbs up. So yeah. So
2?
It looks like she just went like this.
Which I'm not going to say.
Oh, she said she was looking at her thumbs, but she was like this. Thumbs. I was like 2 thumbs up. I'll ask the Watermark Out News' resident lesbian across the hall when this is over. But yeah, I mean, I was like, that seems like, I don't know. It seems short.
With 2 thumbs, would that be like DP?
Do they play Siskel and Ebert? Or they declare a thumb war?
But yeah, so the movie is good. It's a good documentary. It's not something that I would like watch repeatedly, but I don't know if there's any documentary that I'm like, that's such a good documentary, I'm going to watch that again. I mean, documentaries don't lend themselves to repeat viewing.
You know, and the closest I'll get to rewatching a documentary is watching the beginning of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Which is fascinating. Like, it's the 21 minutes of intense movie making. But no, I mean, I don't think I rewatch documentaries at all. Yeah. I won't rewatch this. But I'm so glad that I did. How many grapes do you give it?
I'll give it 3 grapes.
3 grapes, 5 grapes. Yeah. Absolutely see it. You know, I'm gonna have to watch all the other documentaries now to compare. I mean, it's hard to win a documentary category if there's going to be like a documentary about Ukraine or about immigration in America.
I will let you know right now that this is not favored to win.
Yeah. That
the documentary that is favored to win is about that police shooting of the lady in her kitchen. Right now,
Aubrey Taylor? No, is it?
No, I don't remember her name, but yeah, police shootings right now are, that's highly favored to win.
Yeah.
You know what is also nominated? What is that short movie that Danny recommended to us that we
Oh
were going to
yeah,
watch?
yeah. I want to watch that so bad.
Yeah,
Friend
that's
of Dorothy.
nominated. Friend of Dorothy. That's nominated for an Oscar also.
Oh, hopefully, since it's nominated, hopefully we'll have access to see it, so we can cover it for this. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go through the nominations this week and see what queer has been nominated.
Let's make a point to cover everything.
But
that we can.
but yeah, I think it's a good documentary. Like I said, I don't feel like they broke any ground because I've seen a lot of cancer is very prevalent. There are a lot of cancer and a lot of end of life documentaries. I think this is within the realm of all the good ones that they've done. If you want to watch, have you ever seen The C Word with Laura Linney?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's a show about a woman who she's a teacher who finds out she has cancer called the Big C. And there's this popular clip that goes around on TikTok and Instagram when she finds out, and she's at first in the show, she just doesn't give a fuck anymore. She's like, I got cancer, I'm gonna die, whatever. And Gabrielle Sidibe is one of her students in there, and she's constantly giving the teacher shit. And she says, come get your test. And she comes to get her test, and she grabs it and gets in close. And she goes, you got to pick. You can be fat or you can be a bitch, but you can't be a fat bitch.
Yes. I will say this to everyone involved in this documentary. You did exactly what you set out to do. It was great. You told the story. You will inspire people. You do.
The way you said that, like they're all like they're listening. You were like, listen. I know. I'm talking only to you right now.
Brandi Carlile knows that I love the joke and the story. Mm-hmm. And so, as a favor to me for loving this so much, she listens to the podcast.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm speaking to her because I know she's involved. But it's just like, it's kind of like, you know how people say it's an honor just to be nominated? Sometimes that is true. Like, you may not be favored to win, and you probably won't win, but you've reached the pinnacle of documentary filmmaking. The guy who directed it if you look at him on Rotten Tomatoes, Ryan White, he's got high scores on a lot of stuff. He did a lot of he does a lot of documentaries, and they seem to do really well. So I don't know if this is his first nomination or not, but it's
he's not a bad looking fella.
Yeah, and so I think it tells the story that's been told a lot of different ways, but it tells it in it's just got it's through a different person's lens, and a person that will connect to people that maybe didn't connect to the other stories. It hits the queer community and cancer when I think other things are more prevalent. Other types of stories are more prevalent in the queer community. So it's to me right in there. Well, like I said, 5 grapes.
Yeah. And like I said, 3 grapes.
Yeah, well, when I woke up, it was 70 degrees outside.
When I woke up, both my thumbs worked.
Well, when I woke up this morning, I got to pee in a toilet.
Congratulations. I'm glad that changed for you. And I hope and pray for nothing but toilets in your future. I'm going to put that in the universe for you.
I'm going to have one installed here.
Yeah, you should. You should.
I don't want to get a UTI because church is going on,
Right? Just don't work on Sundays. That's what God wanted.
Well,
Everyone should be off on Sunday.
It's my own fault. I won't blame myself necessarily. It's other people help. I'm just telling you, it's a mess. This database system is a mess to get in order. But it's all going to be so good when it's done.
I hear you.
So we think.
Oh my God, I forgot this. Right here, I'll end it on a happy note. I saw a lady get hit by a snowplow today. Do you want to hear about that?
Oh my God. On a good note?
Well, you weren't hit by a snowplow, so that's the good part.
Is she okay?
She's fine. And after I finish this quick story, she kind of deserved it. So.
That's what happened to Hawkeye, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I probably am exaggerating a bit. She was hit by a snowplow, but not like the big snowplow. It was one of the little, it was like a tiny
like a handheld
little
one. Okay.
No. He's driving it. It's like a little sidewalk forklift one that they do right outside of, in fact, right out of where they do Just in Time and Wicked. I was walking to the subway, and he's in this tiny little. It looks like a little golf cart, but it's like a snowplow tractor, and he's pushing the snow like on making the little mounds on the street. And then he hits the little reverse button, and he honks his horn. He's like, honk, honk, watch out, everybody, I'm backing up. And he's backing up, and I'm walking towards that direction, and I see a girl walking towards him. She's got her earmuffs on, and she's down looking at her phone. And he pushes it, and he honks his horn and backs up. And as he backs up, she's not paying attention, runs right into the corner of the snowplow and gets knocked down on her ass. And her earbuds or snow earmuffs fall off, and she got her earbuds in. She's not paying attention, listening to music or whatever. And this guy was walking by the snowplow, and she helps him up. And the guy gets off his snowplow, doesn't speak English, and so he's like, I assume saying, because he looked very concerned, "Are you okay, ma'am? Are you okay?" But he's saying it in like Spanish. She never takes her earbuds off. She just picks her earmuffs on, puts them on, flips the guy off, and says, "Go fuck yourself," and then keeps on walking.
I'm walking over here.
And I was like, I just looked at her, and she walked away, and I was like, yeah, she deserved it.
Was he on the sidewalk?
Yeah, he was doing the snowplow in the sidewalk out front of the theaters. But she was not paying attention. He honked his horn, and then he was backing up, and she just kept on walking, and they connected, and she fell on her ass. And she's like, "Go fuck yourself."
Hey, look, I don't want to blame victims or anything. I'm just saying, you got to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know your surroundings.
You gotta
when
watch.
You're going. It's dangerous to have both
Mm-hmm.
in and like listening to music, and you can't hear what's going on around you. I mean, what if a police car had to drive on the sidewalk to get around traffic?
Exactly.
Then an ambulance is going to have to do it to come save your ass.
So if you can't watch, listen. Like you should listen to this podcast next week when we'll be back. See what I did there? That was nice, right?
I'm there for it.
Until then, the cork is back in the bottle.